I'm adding the sound effects myself. It doesn't actually make the sound. It does light up though. SirDavis is a brand new rye that just hit the market. We're gonna review it, talk about it, and go into all the juicy details. Let's talk about the name real quick. SirDavis, all one word. It's named for Beyonce's great grandfather. His name was Davis. This is finished and bottled in Houston, where Beyonce is from, of course. If you're a fan, you know that. Did Beyonce herself blend this whiskey? Well, it was actually a collaboration with a name that many Scotch fans might be familiar with, and that's Dr. Bill Lumsden of Ardbeg and Glenmorangie. But what's actually in this very eye-catching bottle? It is rye whiskey made from 51% rye, 49% malted barley. It's an interesting mash bill. Distilled at MGP in Indiana, aged for an unspecified period of time, this is non-age dated, then taken to Texas where it is finished in sherry casks, again, for an undisclosed period of time before being bottled at 88 proof. If you like it and you want to put a ring on it, I'm sorry guys. They are selling it online at SirDavis.com. It's also being distributed in a handful of retail outlets in select states. It's also being sold in airports in London, Paris, and Tokyo. So, you know, they're hitting some really major markets there. You know, I thought I was gonna have like more Beyonce lyrics at top of mind during this, but they're just not quite coming to me.
But you're just a boy.
Ooh, okay, great stopper action. I gotta be honest, this packaging is, I mean, it's from LVMH, from Moët Hennessy. Okay, so right off the bat, this nose is a lot different than other MGP rye you might be used to. It's a lot less vegetal, a lot fruitier, a lot of dried oak right on the nose. Frankly, there is a malty quality here. This is 49% malt in the mash bill, so raisins, black currants, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of an herbal pop there. And honestly, it actually noses to me a little bit above 88 proof, so plenty punchy for 88 proof. Oh, there is a little herbaceousness. It's like sawgrass. Like, you've ever had smelled sawgrass? Yeah, it's like sawgrass. Not freshly cut grass, not like the green grass in your front yard, sawgrass. I'm being specific there. Yeah, it's like sawgrass. All right, let's sip it. It was fruity on the nose, but it's spice first here and then fruit. Much more cinnamon than on the nose. Again, the fruit definitely takes a back seat, but is there. That rye spice really comes through here. Again, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. Right after that, I get a note that really surprises me. Frankly, it's peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, creamy, slightly salted peanut butter. There's a minerality here. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting that from a sherry finished rye whiskey out of MGP. A little bit of cocoa comes in after that, followed by like dark grapes, black currants, raisins, some of those dark fruit notes I got on the nose. But right after that peanut butter, again, I can't untaste the peanut butter. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. It just throws me for a little bit of a loop. It's like, is it sweet? Is it woody? Is it nutty? Sometimes there are a few points on the palate where I'm really not sure where SirDavis is leaning, and I almost wish it would just like throw a really strong punch in one direction. It's not imbalanced though, so I just sort of wish it had maybe a more dominant note along the mid palate instead of all three of those kind of intersecting. At the same time though, it's not like it comes off the rails at all. The finish I wish were just a tad bit sweeter, but it doesn't like completely come off the rails, and I'd say the finish is probably on par with the palate. For me, my favorite part of this was probably the nose, and then the palate and finish about on the same level, just dip below. I gave this 88 out of 100. I thought it wasn't as composed on the palate and finish and didn't tell this like really tight narrative, or didn't take me on this really tight flavor journey like some other really good rye whiskeys coming out in American whiskey today. That said, I really enjoyed sipping this neat, and I think this would be phenomenal in cocktails, in a rye whiskey cocktail. The problem is not a lot of places are going to put a $90 bottle of rye into their cocktails. I kind of wish they would though. Beyonce and Moët Hennessy set out to create something that stands apart in the American whiskey landscape, and it really does. I think they succeeded. This doesn't taste like any other rye that I've had recently. So kudos to them, kudos to Beyonce, Moët Hennessy, Dr. Bill Lumsden for creating something that is unique. For VinePair.com, I'm David Thomas Tao, tasting the whiskey so you can too. I need to come up with a better slogan. Beyonce, help me out here.